Hello everyone and welcome back to WhiskyWars and to a new episode of the Neckpour, a very exciting episode of the Neckpour. This is going to be an Ardbeg that we're talking about today, but it's 8 years of age and it's part of the committee release. So this is the Ardbeg 8 year for discussion and it's bottled at 50.8%. I must admit, after trying on my previous Neckpour, I did the Ardbeg Corrie Reckon, posted a little while ago, and it was so good that when I saw this available, I had to buy it. I believe it's limited edition, although I'm not sure of that. It doesn't say on the bottle it's limited edition, but since it is part of the bottled exclusively for the Ardbeg committee, I'm not a member of the committee. This is available for general market, so I don't know what's going on there, but I'm glad that I can get my hands on it anyway. So me personally, I'm not. If you know me, you know that from my videos previously, I'm not the biggest Ardbeg 10 fan, but I love Ardbegs. But for me, Ardbegs shine when they have sherry cask influence. Let's get this open. Good cork pop. I like that. Yes. Okay, very excited. I've got to remember it's 51%, 50.8% to be exact. You wouldn't believe it, by the way, I live on a really quiet road, really small road. The amount of wagons and trucks that come down here that seem like they're made from the 50s, it's crazy. Always when I do a review as well, I promise you, it's not loud normally. Whenever I film a review, I pick it up. Ooh. So what I do want to stress is, on the labelling, there's no information on what it's bottled in. It doesn't say that it's what it's aged in. It doesn't say if it's just ex-bourbon at all. So I'm going in completely blind. Now normally, this has been the case for at least 2 years now. All my reviews, I've not looked for about 2 years at a single review online for notes or tasting notes. I just go in blind and say what I think. Sometimes it can work well, other people can disagree, but I enjoy the video so much more when I do that. Comes across a lot more natural and authentic, I think, as well. And that's what whiskey's about. It's about saying what you think, saying what you feel and what you taste and what you can smell. And if people agree, then great. If they don't, then people's tastes are different. But yeah, for me it makes no sense looking up notes, because sometimes a distillery can say certain notes and then people can say those notes like it's fact, but I think no, I don't get that. So it's just better, just taste a whiskey yourself. Don't look at notes before you taste a whiskey. Taste it yourself, talk about it, and then you can later on if you want to. Ooh, that's a lovely nose. It's a lovely wood smoke straight off the nose. A lot of peat, but you would expect that with an Ardbeg. So I'm getting a lovely burnt wood, and it's definitely giving me bonfire night vibes. This would be an incredible whiskey at bonfire night, which I know it's not celebrated everywhere around the world. It's a UK thing with Guy Fawkes, but basically we pile on, I think it's, oh God, I could be wrong here, I think it's November the 5th, we pile a lot of wood in a almost like a pyramid shape, and we set it alight, and then it's a celebration around there. But that burnt wood is definitely coming across. So I always say bonfire night, but look, if you're from America and you go camping a lot, maybe you would say a campfire. But bonfire night for me, because we also have caramelized, like we call them toffee apples, which is basically an apple on a stick covered in hot toffee, and then it like sets on the apple, and we eat that a bonfire night, but we also have treacle. Now, I think treacle is molasses in America. I'm unsure on that, but we call it treacle. And that's exactly what I'm getting on the nose. I'm getting toffee apples, treacle, which is it's like a burnt caramel. It's a darker caramel. And vegetal notes as well. I can tell this whiskey is going to be complex. So first impressions is tough because you have to sit with a whiskey to give a proper review of a whiskey. Certainly a fennel note. It's giving it a little bit of an aniseed flavour. Grilled aubergine as well. Yeah, vegetal, peaty, salty as well, very salty. A little bit of cracked black pepper, a little bit meaty, but not too much actually. I would say this verge is a little bit more vegetal, aniseedy. But I'm getting sweet notes in this whiskey, which tells me maybe it's had a sherry cask influence with it, because on the Anoa I get a similar experience, although the Anoa is sweeter than this one, so it's interesting. Certainly a more vegetal Ardbeg than maybe the 10-year, the Ugadal and the Corryrekan, and the Wee Beastie. The Anoa, I think, is a little bit more vegetal. In fact, I think, let me know in the comments down below when I review this for a Whiskey War. Do you want to see the Ardbeg 8 against the Ardbeg 10, or do you want to see it against the Anoa? Because I think the vegetal nature of the Anoa could be a good match, but I think the Anoa is going to be a little bit more sweet. The 10-year might be the one most people recommend. So let me know what you guys think. The 10-year or the Anoa for the Ardbeg 8. I think it's going to be the 10 that wins. But there is a sweetness to it. Certainly there's a sweetness in it. The video will drag on for way too long if I spend too much time nosing it. So I'm going to go straight in for the taste. Just before I do though, if you guys like the video or find it helpful in any way, please do consider dropping a like on the video. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do consider clicking that subscribe button down below. It really helps the channel out. Honestly, it really does. So I'd really appreciate that. So thank you. Back to the taste. Wow. This is a really enjoyable whiskey. Really enjoyable. It feels quite strong, but it is 50.8%. That does make sense. I'm getting a little bit more cracked black pepper and a meaty note on the taste than I was getting on the nose. That's what comes to mind on the taste straight away. Do you know what I'm getting on this? I'm getting a grilled peppered meat, but if you've ever had it at a restaurant, sometimes they'll serve meats with like a sharp berry, almost like a bitter berry. Local to where I live, we have gooseberries. Basically a berry that's quite tart. It's not going to be sweet, and that's what I get. So there's a fruity note, but it's a tart fruitness. It's not a sugary sweet fruitness, and that blends with that peppery salty meat note, and it's really quite nice. But it does add a good level of complexity to the whiskey. Charcoal is a note that's definitely on this whiskey. A lot of charcoal. I'm definitely getting steam train vibes. And that's the beauty of Ardbeg. I do sort of get transported back into the past, or what I perceive the past would be. Certainly in Northern England, in a mining town. Yeah, it's very pleasant. It's giving me mining coal town vibes, with a lot of smoke in the air, black smoke. Certainly not good for you, but that's what I get. A little bit of that salted meat with a tart berry. Vegetal notes. Medicinal notes, it's not popping out medicinally at all to me. Certainly getting more of the vegetal note, and that's that grilled aubergine, but fennel. Certainly fennel, because it's given an aniseedy note to the whiskey. Very interesting. That tart berry that I spoke about, as soon as the initial taste, it comes across like a sweet berry, maybe like a blackberry. But once you hit the mid, and especially the finish, it just changes, goes extremely bitter and tart. This is a nice whiskey. I'm glad I bought it. I want to keep this video short. I feel like I could talk about this whiskey for an hour, to be honest with you. I like the name for discussion. You could have the discussion for sure with this whiskey. Quickly touching on the price. This whiskey, I picked it up for around £47–48, I think it was, in the UK. Other places it can be available for 55, so around that £45 to £55 mark. I think it's well priced, bottled at 50.8%, 8 years of age, an Ardbeg. I think it's well priced, and so far at least from initial impressions, it gets a big thumbs up from me. So I hope that helps. The full Whiskey War will be coming shortly, and I'll probably do it against the Ardbeg 10 once I get to know the whiskey a little bit more, and I can maybe drop in a few more notes that I've picked up over time. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Neckpour, and I hope to see you all for the next Whiskey War.